78歳のおじいちゃんが世界一の頂へ挑戦。こんにちは、ミレイです。今回は先日行われた WSOP パラダイスのメインイベントファイナルテーブルの様子を紹介するよ。このトーナメントは参加費400万円で優勝は驚異の15億円。そんなとんでもない舞台に名前の頭文字から通称 JNT と呼ばれる78歳のおじいちゃんが登場。しかもファイナルテーブルが始まった時点でご覧の通りダントツのチップリーダー。当然チップ量を生かして暴れ回る JNT とそれを止めようとするトッププロとのバチバチの打ち合いが見られるよ。果たして JNT は15億円と世界一の称号を手にすることができるのか、それともプロたちが意地を見せるのか。この動画が良かったらチャンネル登録してもらえるととっても嬉しいです。それじゃあ早速白熱のファイナルテーブルを見てみよう。ゼロから始めるポーカー教室。
But we're on to something.
As is Was under the gun, pocket sixes, namely, JNT has a six in hand. He's decided to flat from the small with the suited one gapper. You're nodding your head, Randy.
Yeah, he's been pretty pesky from the small blind, you know, and he actually can. He's got the chip stack to do so. He knows the big blind can't really overcall, and now he's flopping open-ended straight draw. I think there's a way he just wins this against Was's sixes.
Yeah, that is an above-average outcome for him here. One club on board as well. He does slip it to Was.
And last time JNT fled the small blind of Jack 9 suited, he was up against Was as well. And Was fired 6 mil and got the fold from JNT. This time it will not happen. I wouldn't even fault him for just fast playing it here. Trying to fold out high cards. Or even pocket pairs like this. Yeah. Is he grabbing more or is it just 6? Just 6.
And just 8 high, as it was a street ago. How you feeling about things with 42 out there, 74 back if you're Was, having JNT call from the small where we don't expect the 9-7 sort of stuff?
Interesting texture.
You just hunting cheap showdown here?
Yeah, you try to get the showdown.
Oh, this is making it tough to get there.
Telling you.
20 into 42.
It looks like an impossible call.
Yeah, it's weird though because Was's face reads skepticism, but the situation reads get out of dodge.
バシバシ行くね。そしてここからなぜかおしゃべりプレイヤーで有名なカブレルさんも解説に加わるよ。
Now Wasserson, back up to the 130 million basically that he came into this final table with, has secured a couple of ladders and now he's secured an ace-king, sheds a couple of threes with this min-raise, blind level now 3, 6, and 6, and JNT wakes up with jacks. He really has had disproportionately beneficial card distribution. Might this be yet another example of that here?
JNT not one to shy away from these confrontations. I mean, this is more than enough hand.
Elevator up to 31. Jam from Was. Snap from JNT. You're always holding your breath. And things could be worse, of course. 43% for Wasserson. He does trail. Pivotal pot.
Yeah, if JNT win this spot, he's like a huge clear favorite to winning the tournament. Sorry for stating the obvious, but this is big spot for both of them for sure. Obviously much bigger for Eric.
In all ways. 550k ladder. One that he's hoping he doesn't end up with right about now. Up pair. Way out in front. Jack free turn, and Jacob needs to be kept at bay if he will secure this double. What a critical moment this is, as you see Nick Schulman looking on, good friends with Was. Tension-filled face. And he's done it. Ace-king now for JNT, and no card deadness on display here.
Because I was crying for him, yeah? I was crying for him, he has nothing, so let's do that.
14 million. Just north of the minimum.
think it's on the big blind of the Bernhard. So let's see. Ah, it looks like fold to me.
Yeah, this isn't a thrilling spot when JNT makes it 14 million.
I think he's smart enough to fold it.
From the hijack also.
A couple of things though, guys. There has been what seems to be a game plan out of Binder to play as many pots as JNT will allow him to play against the man, even though these are the two guys that are supposed to have the unwritten agreement to stay out of one another's way. And this, of course, a product of Binder presumably finding himself to be the superior player. Not the superior hand here. He does find a gut shot as JNT finds the c-bet.
Yeah, this is the problem with defending ace-deuce, because like against JNT, I mean, if he is c-betting ace-king on this board, he's probably c-betting like everything. So
it is a real problem for ace-deuce. I agree. Like, sure, Binder might be the technically superior player, but he's going to just face aggression. He's just going to face lots of aggression.
I mean, I tell you guys something, like first GR advice for today, ace-deuce doesn't flop well. And this check raise, I don't like it a lot. It will be working, probably, but I don't like it a lot. I like the size. If he is gonna check raise, it's good that he do that for small size.
Yeah.
But I don't like this play at all. So now we...
But obviously a pretty significant spin up, which is what Natasha's gonna need as Reed puts the new chips to work. No waiting. King, jack of spades.
Wow, I would free bet this jack 5 like with pleasure.
Really? Well, instead, Binder mucks it, and Mercier perhaps is going to give Terrence an opportunity to finish what he started. Jamming.
This is a dicey spot for Terrence
Okay,
to get
come on,
involved.
JNT. Give her protection. Re-raise all in. JNT, let's do that for the gal. I think he can do that. Like, he can put like whatever, some ISO raise. Yeah, he can do that for sure. And he's smart enough to do that.
Is that really allowed here, Kevin? Something like a raise out of JNT?
I mean, it's like, it is a hard spot for Terrence to stack off. The only benefit is...
Terrence needs to fold like
Natasha's
everything there,
in.
He needs to fold like everything there, basically.
Well,
that's why I even said that Bernhard can free bet there. Here we go.
Wow, he did make
Okay. Vamos!
Well, she was always going to be up against King X. Instead of the King Jack, it's the King 8 of diamonds of JNT.
So she's in pretty good shape, actually, because one king folding,
Look at Natasha looking over as if to be like, are you doing me a favor in this spot, or are you actually making my life harder? What are you doing out there?
No, it's my brother, I told you already.
Mm-hmm.
What is that crazy guy there? I don't really understand that.
10-9 deuce. And what Natasha understands is that she is a couple of cards away from 52 million. No diamond to worry about. Let's see all of the stress worn on her face, her camp, feeling the weight of this moment as well. She tries to stave off elimination. Queen on the turn, and she's found top pair. You see the gut shot for JNT, kings and jacks.
It was actually a good card for JNT. He like add one more out, right?
She's not out of the woods. Oh no!
Not like that.
A devastating king of clubs.
Bernard, kings, blind v blind against JNT. See what he comes with.
Yeah, it's interesting, big stack versus big stack. You normally see the small blind start with almost only limps, but I wonder if just exploitatively with pocket kings, out of position against JNT, Binder just going to try and build a big pot right now. He only made it 26 million.
This could be huge.
Just over 3x.
This could be huge. Fortunately, there's an ace out there. Had this come queen high, could have been good night JNT. 60 million in the middle.
26.
J&T, aggressive as advertised. This kind of middling strength hand wouldn't normally want to play a big pot. But sometimes this kind of play leads to, you know, a pair of kings feeling uncomfortable about how much money's going in. Clear call on the flop for now. See how J&T rates his hand on the turn.
You're telling me that this man was folding 2 pair? Not in a million years. May have even got it in.
This is where it's important for Bernhard not to get too caught up in the story of kings having bad blockers and having low equity when behind, because you can see J&T's just willing to bet again here with worse for value. Take your price. Hope for the clean river. Bernhard makes the call.
There is the clean river. And this is the runaway train we were talking about. Bernhard up to 600 million, J&T down to 345. Everyone guaranteed 3 million. We're on $1 million ladder between 4th and 3rd. Here comes Binder. Pocket 6s on the button. Don't do it, J&T.
He really has been trying to win hands against Bernhard specifically. It feels like he's so much more interested in winning chips from Bernhard than anyone else at the table. Like, the goal is, this is how I overtake chip lead, you know, this is how I win this tournament.
Okay.
It's mostly gone Binder's way thus far.
What's the play here with 6s? Just pill one off in position?
Yeah, I think that's the only option. The price is good. You know J&T's the type who could just get it in for 40 plus bigs here with the overpair, right? So you don't have that same sort of high leverage jam situation.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Somebody call the police. 999. Maybe
All right.
maybe not the right audience for that joke, you know, but
Yeah.
he's got the police hat on.
30,000 watching. 6 of them understood that reference.
One of them here in the room as well, producer James Dempsey. As long as he, you know, I get the nod of approval from him.
J&T checks it over. I do think that Binder can start betting for value. And I don't get the impression that if he faces a raise at some point, it's like, oh, you know, of course I have to stick around with my 6s and play a huge pot. See how much trouble he gets into on turn.
120 million in the middle. And perhaps that turn card actually helping Binder out now. Some of those ace-high floats that J&T would perhaps check call with.
Yeah, I think this is a mandatory shutdown. Hope to spike your 2-outer. But very often this ace improves J&T.
Would be a disgusting way to go. It was close, I'll tell you that much.
Spades as well.
J&T with the snap. 70% pot on the river. 6 is going to be hitting the muck.
Yeah, I mean, sure, J&T's someone who could absolutely have King-Jack or King-Queen here and run a bluff, but you just don't need to take a stand here with 2 6s. This is not the guy you want to be sending a massive pot.
Oh, hang on, because the 6s haven't hit the muck yet. There it goes. 3.1 million for TJ Reid. Loved around the poker world for all of his work. And yeah, I got a funny feeling we might not be seeing him sideline reporting anymore, Randy.
Yeah, he might be
after this
quitting
run.
one of those jobs. Look here. Binder versus J&T.
That is a spicy flop. Double gut shot for J&T. Royal flush draw for my man Binder, who has been on quite the run.
There is one straight that He really would not like to hit JNT, that is. The jack could just crush him. You see Binder checking over, has the pre-flop raiser. Big draw, big stack. I wonder if he even check raises here. Goes for call. Wow. JNT just took the lead like that.
Wow, JNT is just relentless. 50 mil on the turn. Binder can't really do anything other than call. I mean,
It seems a bit out of line if he was to all of a sudden rise, but it's crossing his mind. Then again, JNT isn't really the one to just fold a big hand. It'd be very risky if he was to jam, but it would work against 9-8.
feels like he's considering jam.
Yeah, I think
He's
so.
trying to target a 10, maybe even a queen.
Problem is if the queen has backup like queen jack, sometimes they just say, oh, sigh, call. But here he goes. 226 in the middle.
Huge pot
Oh
brewing.
my, he just hit the nuts.
Binder with the nut straight. 226 in the middle. JNT's got 271 back. Randy, I have to ask you, does he just go for the jugular here? Does he ask for it all, targeting a king, never expecting JNT to fold the second nuts?
I could see it, but then again, if you think your opponent has the king, maybe you just check it over and let them bet for you. But he's going to lead off 55, and you know, JNT has to call with the straight that he's got, and that.
$6 million difference between third and first.
Wow, look at JNT's attack of 8-7 offsuit into Binder's big blind. Same hand.
This is the thing as well. It feels like JNT is more likely to take these button spots than De Souza is.
So if that's the case, and I'm De Souza, I kind of would like waiting around and just seeing if JNT doubles or busts, because JNT is clearly looking to get involved. Top pair, top pair.
De Souza's going to love this. He's going to see all the money go in.
And he's like, yes,
Yeah,
someone's going to bust.
Hope to ladder 2 million and then see that they're chopping.
Yeah, and then be disappointed as they chop up his small blind. Binder comes in with lead. Snap all in from JNT, and you don't love it if you're Binder. Your kicker's a bit of a problem, but I don't see how you can fold. JNT might just think like 6s or 7s are good, or 5, and rip it in. Look at De Souza. He's peeking in.
De Souza loves this. He's like, 2 million up for grabs?
Yeah, he's like, please call. Please call.
Does Binder ever fold, by the way, Randy?
Well, he's thinking about it because he's afraid he's up against an overpair, a better 8. And he really would not want to slide 140 million over. I think the other thing to keep in mind is if he can keep JNT and De Souza the similar stack depth, they kind of have to bleed downwards, in theory at least. There's a lot going on in this hand. I don't think he'll fold just because there's a chance JNT's just attacking with ace-5 and he'll be a big favorite.
There's the call.
Look at De Souza. Ready for the reveal?
De Souza.
Ah oui, on sait jamais.
Someone from Binder's rail calling for a diamond as well.
This hand sucks, but let's see if it raises. Does not. So therefore he's not raising any 2.
Slightly different stacks now. 30 million, 30 big, sorry, for JNT. 22, Bellarmino. This could be fireworks. Top pair against bottom pair. Modern day cooler, as we like to call it, Randy. It's tough to make pairs in this game.
Yeah, so oftentimes in these pair versus pair spots, blind versus blind limb, there is at least 1, likely 2 bets going in at some point.
De Souza hasn't been deviating from betting big for value against JNT. Seems to just have a very straightforward game plan.
Oh, is that straightforward now?
Is it all over now?
Potentially.
60 mil out there. We've got top pair. So I guess having the 6 of hearts isn't great. Blocking some of the hands you'd want JNT to have, like 6-7, 6-8. But still, we've got top pair. Blind v blind. 90 million in the middle. We just saw JNT lead on the turn.
Oh my god, it's quads versus the full house. The sickest river in the deck, because there are cards where De Souza doesn't get stacked.
It's just a $2 million river. JNT's rivered quads. It's one of the most disgusting runouts you'll ever see in WSOP history. Full house against 4 of a kind. Blind v blind.
Full pot. All in.
JNT jams, and
how can he fold? He might be up against a 10 as well. He calls. De Souza's done.
JNT が豪運を見せつけヘッズアップへ。相手のバインダーさんは近年頭角を現してる完成度の高いプレイヤーだよ。およそ3時間にも及んだバチバチのヘッズアップを見てみよう。
Nice hands for both. I'm not really expecting Binder to 3-bet pre right now. I think he still is content to play these single raise pots, but we'll see. Maybe this is the one. Changing the tone, and he's going to get called by King Jack suited.
Big pot poker. $4 million. And the WSOP Super Main bracelet on the line. Open ender for JNT. Gut shot, backdoor clubs for Binder. If JNT wins this hand, Randy, he's going to take the chip lead.
That is right. It's going to be hard to get JNT out of this pot. Binder is not looking to see bet. 2 checks.
I think he's going to go for like a double delayed.
He has been doing this so far in this heads-up match. Trying to make it a 1-street game. Here he bets.
Well, that's a big bet. 75%.
JNT's like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Wow.
I mean, this is the part of the tournament so far. 400 million in the middle. Bricks out. Spades brick. Hands like ace-5, ace-deuce. Also brick. I wonder if Bernard follows through on this river. Must be daunting given how sticky JNT is.
I mean, JNT has a lot of 10x that's played, to be honest. I wouldn't mind, though, if he threw out a smallish bet to shake out better draws. And JNT's going to try and rep. Look at this. Like, that's what Binder could have considered doing. Betting like 75 million, trying to fold out straight draws, spades are better than 9 high, and then he just gave it up. I mean, to be honest, I am liking the way JNT's been playing this heads-up match. He's been stealing more pots post-flop than he deserves. You know, he's constantly c-betting. He's making larger pre-flop raise sizes, which builds the pot. It just makes the pro more nervous post-flop, because if you're in a speculative spot and you're in Binder's shoes, you don't really want to be calling down multiple barrels if they're really big with like a second, third pair, for example. But for Binder, what he needs to do is just constantly adjust, you know, and I think that's what we're going to see, because in the first hour of play, you know, he was slowly kind of changing the strategy, was checking a lot, and then he started to see bet a little bit more. But he also did get that break just recently, and maybe he got a chance to consult the rail and maybe pick up some new ideas.
Tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better crew to be guiding you to victory than the one that Binder has assembled here. As the flop assembles an open ender, for him, defending with the queen high against the ace-jack open. All standard fanfare to this point with 74 in the middle. C-bet of 30 from JNT. You know, oftentimes, if we were to look out and say, this is objective, experience, veteranship versus more of an amateur or a novice, right? Which is not a slight on JNT whatsoever. He has been playing against some of the best in the world and doing it for quite a few years now with some success.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to suggest reduce the decision points. Take the pro out of their comfort zone. Inflate pots. Make it so that they can't dictate pace and they can't proceed in situations.
And that's what he's been doing. You know, he's building pots. Look at this. Like ace-jack is not an auto bet here on the turn. But now it just puts Binder in a really annoying spot because it's 100 million to 134. I'm not so sure how he likes his pretty solid draw as a passive line, probably, right?
Let alone his queen high.
Yeah, he's like confused. He's like, seriously? You're just going to get me to fold to 6 right now? He doesn't like to face these huge bets. He's going to hang in there, pray.
You surprised by this?
I mean, he thinks queen high could be good occasionally, and he can visualize the deuce rolling off, and he just wins a huge one against the ace.
All right, this is not one of the occasions on which it's good, but the top card on the flop pairing here on the river, does this open the door to convert queen high into a bluff under presumptions that JNT doesn't have 5x in range as a raise on the button?
I mean, potentially, but the problem is if JNT's got a 10, I don't really think he's the type to fold it. He might be thinking about like a smallish bet to fold out a higher draw, like a king high spades, maybe an ace jack like this. But he'd have to bet big enough to get those hands to fold. It's crossing his mind, as you can see. His mind tinkering.
334.
Oh,
wow, did he just go 3? Oh my god.
This is so dicey. This is an incredible commitment, and it gets through.
Something to note here is after coming back from the break, Binder's actually ditched the glasses. The sunglasses, that is.
You make anything of this?
I don't know. It just, he's been playing from all day. He played with it the first hour heads up.
I mean, from this vantage point, as we see JNT on the button with this open-ender, follow through likely, I think maybe absent some of the other opposition that he feels maybe more trying to look into his soul, let's say, using live tells, maybe he doesn't feel like that's something he needs to be as concerned about against JNT. I mean, if for no other reason, as we pointed out, you see the light in front of him. Vision has been a struggle for him of late, and we certainly hope that he can continue to enjoy this hobby for as long as possible. But, you know, I just suspect he's unbothered by the notion that that's a factor here.
We are clearly seeing a new Binder here. I believe, well, from what we've seen in the first hour, JNT was c-betting like every single flop. Now Binder's opted to check raise bluff. He's turned a flush draw.
I'll tell you what, when you do check raise bluff, finding backdoor equity is the way to grease your wheels for another barrel. 210 in the middle.
Kind of feel like you need to barrel once more once you pick up this equity, because you don't really want to go into check call mode with a weakish flush draw, but there are hands that linger that bet call flop, given it was what, 30 to 75, not a big raise. Puts in 150 million. But just look at this pot. There's 510 million in the middle, high card versus high card. It's an ace. What do you do now if you're Binder?
More importantly for me, if Binder does shut her down, which I'm not sure he's going to, Will J&T activate appropriately? It's a $500 million chip pot. How many times you said that in your life?
Never.
Okay, he has shut it down. With the 8
Oh
high,
my
and look at J&T just drop the dump truck off, and it's his turn.
Wow. He just put in 350 million. I feel like Binder is a little bit, dare I say, lost in the sense that he's got these expectations on how J&T is going to play. He's using these strategies,
Right.
but then what he's seen at Showdown is not what he expects.
Yeah, I get what you mean. He's not lost. I mean, he's a terrific poker player,
Correct.
very competent, but he's not finding kind of that footing beneath him that he can operate off of, and that's all due to the seismic shifting happening across the felt. Second pair for J&T on the ace-high board here. Slips it to Binder.
He's got a hand that can certainly see bet 2 overs, connection to that 9 of diamonds. When I say 2 overs to the middling pair, which often is the stuff you'd be worried about. 40 mil.
He's focused on the same card that J&T is in that 9 of diamonds, which brings him to a 2/3 pot c-bet. Randy, you know, I was going down the path of maybe sizing up, not playing into his hand. And yet here he is doing just that. And he has found himself a gutter. Sorry, an open-ender. It is J&T that has the gutter and a flush draw. So good luck trying to evict him from this pot.
Yeah, that's an eviction notice that would get ignored. Probably just take the free card here. I mean, I could see why betting might work, just to fold out some kind of 7x. 9x, I'm not really convinced it would always consider a fold, but here he bets 90 mil. There's so much in there now, J&T. Mid pair, clubs, straight draw as you mentioned. There are cards that just end this here and now, Ali.
You referring, pray tell, to something like
Six
of clubs?
Yeah.
That's the direction I was headed. Right color, wrong suit for the flush draw, as the 9s are still best. 320 million in the pot, just north of 1 SPR. Effective.
And J&T is potentially coming in with block. He's leading 80 mil.
He's bobbing and weaving out here, man. This is quarter pot, by the way. And this is, well, what are we trying to do? Do we just close our eyes and decide that that 10 is worth more than it is? And do something savage and heroic?
Well, J&T's line is peculiar, right? Because he's betting small, kind of saying out loud, I've got 1 pair. Is it 1 pair 9s? Is it 1 pair ace? Binder might even consider moving in. You saw him immediately look at his chips and see, do I have enough to fold out a block?
Eventually the guy who is mixing it up is going to have it. And Binder doesn't want to take what he might deem to be a needless risk at any point in this match.
If he risks it here, it likely would work. But if he risks it and his opponent is just kind of messing with them, it could be over.
Oh my God, did he jam it? He has jammed it. Is J&T gonna call? If he clicks call, it's a wrap, Randy.
Wow.
This is
the
a
one?
bluff for 10 million.
Oh, and he folds. What a play from Binder.
Here's J&T here on the button. He takes us up to 26. It's a very pretty one. Top 2, his turn to make such things. No Binder. Will maintain interest with an 8
Wow.
and a gutter.
He checks back 2 pair as well.
And he too fills up, albeit on the turn, not the river. Binder drawing dead unbeknownst. Is JNT getting a little bit too passive?
This one for me is a little bit too fancy on the flop. The turn, it makes sense why he's checking now, given he has everything. But there were plenty of hands to get some value from. 8x, 9x draw, you know, flush draws. And we cannot blame Binder for going for value with the 8 as played. Just waiting for what size JNT will make it. At least 100 million.
Well, he has coaxed 33.
80 mil.
Off of Binder's stack, and now he's making it 80, and, well, we know the man's saying he can beat the 8, but a lot of the story might not be checking out.
Right, because if JNT had a 10, is he really checking back the turn, I guess, would be the question if I was Binder. Because you kind of want to protect and get value if you had a 10 against 9, Queen, Hearts, and he's going to pay it off. So actually JNT sized it to perfection. His opponent had a pair of 8s, and that's it.
Top pair versus second pair and a gut shot. I think I got an idea what Binder's doing.
In general, you should be going for value on these textures, charging the worst pairs. But Binder has been showing us he's been willing to check top pair and even top 2 pair at times. JNT is convinced the 10 is good. Can't blame him. The Jack is normally supposed to bet the flop.
25 says JNT. Straightforward call for Bernhard.
I think there's some value with the Jack Deuce. Sure, the King is a little scary, but the way JNT's kind of played his hand points to a 10x a lot. In comes a call. Nice value bet from Binder.
King, Queen offsuit.
I could see chips just go in some manner. Just which way is the question. I mean, when he makes it 58 million ace-8 suited, it seems like a mandatory jam. And I don't think King Queen could ever fold. Not for this price. 20 big blinds about.
Is riding on a wall out here in this super main.
He will jam. And he is calling.
It's go time, Randy. It's been a bit of a slog at times, but since we came back from this break, it has been all Austria. As Torel digs in behind, but with decent equity. A 3-2 dog in a pot for the title. Both rails joining one another, as regardless of result, heads will be held high. For JNT, hoping that an L is not hung around him on a 9-6 deuce board. The climb grows further uphill as he slips to 23%.
Queen.
One more chance, Ali.
No Monet on the turn. Bernhard Binder, just one card away potentially from winning the super main. Can he ward off kings and queens and wrap it up here? Anxiety mounts, and the bracelet is his.
Binder's done it.
最後は JNT が力尽きバインダーさんが優勝。レベルの高い激しいヘッズアップだったね。今後もこのチャンネルではいろんなポーカーシーンを紹介していくので、よかったらチャンネル登録お願いします。次回予告。次の動画では三沢さんが2025年最後の大舞台に登場。今年ポーカー界で最も活躍した日本人と言ってもいい三沢さんが1500万円出しのトーナメントで2025年を締めくくる。配信は12月30日火曜日夜の8時を予定。チャンネル登録してお待ちください。